What's up, guys? Got a new gun here. The 7.62 by 51 NATO Springfield M1A. For some of you that don't know, it's a 308 Winchester. Some guns that are 7.62 by 51 NATO, which is the Army version of 308 Winchester, just something like 5.56 223, but 308 and 7.62 by 51 normally ain't as picky. But to be sure, I called Springfield because it's listed on their website that the gun will shoot 308 rounds. SAMI spec. I'm not really sure what SAMI spec is right now. I don't know if all 308s are SAMI spec. I've only shot the 7.62 by 51 NATO through it right now. Anyway, but I've heard of plenty of people shooting through these guns, PMC and Federal and Winchester White Box and all that stuff. And even and when I called Springfield, she said, yeah, any kind of 308 would pretty much be good. But the manual, and you read online if you look into it, because I did before I bought the gun, it does state that it's technically supposed to only shoot the 7.62 by 51 NATO, but everybody seems to shoot, even the people. The gun shop I bought the gun from, he had one, and he shoots 308 through his. But anyway, this is I kind of wanted one of these guns, a 308 battle rifle type of gun, to be in my collection. You know, kind of fills a gap that I had. There's a lot of good options out there. I tended to go with this just because it has such a well-respected action. The gun itself is modeled after the M1 Garand. That's the gun we used in World War II, Korea. It shot a 30-06, but pretty much the only thing they changed, there may be other things I don't know about or forgot, but besides like barrel profile and muzzle flash suppressors and stuff like that, pretty much they just added a magazine to it. Excuse me, burp. Anyway, they added a magazine to it and changed the caliber to 308 or 7.62 by 51 NATO, which is a ballistically superior round to the 30-06. I hung with the 30-06. I'm not knocking the cartridge. It's a great cartridge, but back I think in the 60s they really tested it out. In 1,000 yards, they was getting, with any kind of rifle with the best shooters, they was getting a lot better group patterns. It just is a more accurate round. It's I think a shorter, maybe slightly fatter cartridge. Those tend to be ballistically superior. That's where you get the short magnums from and everything like that. This is just in the Grand action. It's seen a lot of the Grands, M1 Grands, what they call it, Grand action. That's why there's people that get this gun, the Ruger Mini 14, Mini 30. They're all modeled after the Grand action, and the operating rod, the whole 9 yards, the rotating bolt. It's performed well over years. It's time tested and proven. It's not as tolerant as an AK, but it's pretty tolerant. You use grease in it instead of oil. It's a different kind of monster. I found that out when I took it apart. Taking it apart's pretty simple. Operating rod on this one was pretty hard to get out. This one is a Springfield Armory, if I haven't stated that. Some people on the forums, you know, yeah, you gotta love the forums, said they don't like Springfield. They want some kind of custom job, which there's a lot of good ones and probably higher quality M1As out there, just because they've made them that way. You know, I mean, Colt's not necessarily the best M4 carbine, but it's a good one. But anyway, the Army used Springfield, so it's technically mil spec. This is anything the Army uses has to be good quality, and has to last, and it has to be tested. So yeah, it's good quality. The Navy SEALs still use this. Not every single person, but there's a lot of units that use these rifles. They use a lot of times the SOCOM rifles, which are still issued to them. They're made by Springfield. It's a shortened version, 16.25. It's a lot lighter weight than this rifle. I came really close to buying one. There's kind of a toss-up. Part of me still wishes I got it, but I also like this rifle. So yeah, but you can add optics to them, scopes. In the military, a lot of units use this as in the police force. They use it as kind of a DMR. It's a designated marksmanship rifle. It's like a cross. It's the in between a sniper rifle, a bolt action sniper rifle, and a semi-automatic assault rifle. You know, 223s, you can scope them, get amazing accuracy out of them, but they don't got the oomph at a distance. You know, 500 yards, they start to really lack, and especially with the 223 round being as controversial, there's not enough knockdown anyway. Which it's got plenty of knockdown, but at a longer distance, you know, you're really stretching out the 22 caliber round. Anyway, this is what this rifle kind of comes into play for, and it's an accurate rifle. The sky's the limit if you really want a extremely accurate rifle. They make the M21s and all kinds of different versions. The barrels, you can get the match national matches, the white feathers. The sky's the limit. If you need a pistol, if you feel that a pistol grip is absolutely needed for yours, which I don't think it is. I think it's kind of a cool factor. I think they are easier to carry, but a lot of the pistol grips, you are going to add weight to it, and you're going to pay about $800. I don't find that I need a pistol grip on a gun. You can add lights to it, the accessories. Fulton Armory also makes a good 1911. What I think about it also makes a good M1A, but you're going to pay for it. You're going to pay about probably $1,000 more. These run for about $15 to $2,000 depending on where you get them from. They're pretty hard to find right now. I paid about, I think, $17 for this out the door. Of course, they was extremely hard to find in my state. It's Kentucky, and the places that did have them was charging way out of price for it. I could have ordered one, got it for probably $16, but yeah, or drove a real long distance, 2-3 hours. But anyway, the sky's the limit. Really, you can take these guns. You can get the SOCOM versions. There's also different ways you can buy, like mounts. Like if you see on the SOCOM the Ford mounts, where you can add red dots and everything like that. It's a heavy gun, but it really don't feel. It's not front heavy. You know, a lot of the action is it's kind of balanced. Like some guns, the guns that are front heavy, like some assault rifles, can really get tiresome when you're carrying them or whatever, or you're holding them. This one's kind of a balanced weight, so I don't really find it that uncomfortable. The synthetic stock version seems a lot lighter, at least a pound and a half lighter than this version. I held them side by side, and that's kind of was the deciding factor for me. I'm not extremely on weight, you know, but when you start getting into a heavy gun, I'm kind of picky on weight. Anyway, although the wood stock version's got amazing looks to it. I mean, it was kind of a toss up between that one. I couldn't make my mind. It took me a couple months to even make my mind up on what I was going to get, and I really didn't know until the last week. You can add different sights to it if you want. I mean, it's really tritium sights. It's just the sky's the limit with these guns. How you could take them. You can customize them, get sub-MO, you know, half-inch groups. I've heard from them. Everybody seems to say this is about a 1.25-inch group gun. Different guns, they say they get different patterns, but you never can tell because that's different shooters too. Like I said, I'll put it on paper, figure out what I can get from this gun later on. I was just having some fun shooting some cans. Got about 300 rounds through it, all flawless. And even I shot about 250 myself. You know, half was surplus, half was federal. XM something or another. I had to find the box. It was 149 grain. But yeah, it's just a lovely gun. I haven't had no problems with it. This gun's still needed in today's military. It's why it's still lasted through time. One of the reasons why I didn't really get the popularity of the M1 Garand and the AR-15s was it never really had its vital role in a war. Like for instance, M1 Garand was the gun of World War II. There was a lot of other ones. The M1 Carbine, it didn't receive the popularity because it wasn't as mass produced. it was pretty produced, but it wasn't it wasn't the standard rifle of the war. Um, but this one, you know, in Korea, you know, you had the Thompson, you know, all those guns in World War II and Korea. But this gun came in like 1959. It was in the beginning of Vietnam War. Then they phased it out and put in the AR-15 or M16, my bad, into action. So it never really got tested to the great extent. But over the years, it has been tested. It's the same action as the M1 Grand. Really, the only thing you can kind of say maybe didn't get tested fully throughout the war was the magazines. But the magazines at this time has been used so long, nobody's complained about them. So the gun has been vaguely tested. And like I said, it's seen combat in Iraq. It's still in Afghanistan. You name it, this gun's been around. And even when we wasn't using, there's a lot of other military groups that use them. Like, if you Google this, you can see a list of the countries that use this gun. We sold a lot of them to other countries, you know, whenever we wasn't in wartime or during wartime to, I guess, fund other countries that was being oppressed or whatever to help them out. I think the Philippines may use them, you know, all those countries like that or whatever, fighting communists or whatever. But it's just a wonderful gun. I don't think there's many rifles that can really put up with it. Maybe the Scar, but in that class, because there's a lot of guns that are close to it, like the FNAL, which I don't know a lot about because they don't produce it anymore. You get a lot of the clones, and anyway, I don't know a lot about it, so I can't really talk about it. Shot the set maze. I'm not really fond of their accuracy and everything like that. At least the ones I shot, they're good guns. They're Hoss guns. I mean, they're crazy, but you know, as far as the Sagas, they're good guns. I've been thinking about getting one of them too. That's one of the ones I thought about when I was trying to. But you got the AK sights, the AK action. It's not really, the Saga 308s are not really known for supreme accuracy. I wanted the accuracy to still be intact with the 308s. One reason why I went with the 22-inch barrel on this gun, because I wanted every bit of accuracy as possible. So it's just a good gun, guys. If you're looking to get one, I recommend this gun. Alright, thanks for watching.